Brock Peters was an American actor, best known for playing the role of Tom Robinson in the 1962 film To Kill a Mockingbird. He also gained recognition among Star Trek fans for his portrayals of Fleet Admiral Cartwright in two of the Star Trek feature films and Joseph Sisko, father of Benjamin Sisko, in Star Trek, Deep Space Nine, and for his role as Hatcher in Soylent Green. Early life: Peters was born George Fisher in New York City, the son of Alma A. and Sonny Fisher, a sailor. He was of African descent. Peters set his sights on a show business career early on, at the age of 10. A product of New York's famed High School of Music and Art, Peters initially fielded more odd jobs than acting jobs as he worked his way up from Harlem poverty. Landing a stage role in Porgy and Bess in 1949, he quit physical education studies at City College of New York and went on tour with the opera. Career: Peters made his film debut in Carmen Jones in 1954, but began to make a name for himself in such films as To Kill a Mockingbird and The L-Shaped Room. He received a Tony nomination for his starring stint in Broadway's Lost in the Stars. He sang background vocals on the 1956 hit The Banana Boat song by Harry Belafonte, as well as on Belafonte's 1957 hit, Mama Look a Boo Boo. He also sang on the song, Where from Randy Weston's 1959 album Live at the 5 Spot, and shared vocal duties with Martha Flowers on Weston's album of the following year, Uru Africa. In 1963 he played Matthew Robinson in Heavens Above, a British satirical comedy film starring Peter Sellers, directed by John and Roy Bolting. He was a special guest star in the third season of The Streets of San Francisco, playing the character Jacob in the episode called Jacob's Boy. In the film Abe Lincoln, Freedom Fighter, Peters plays Henry, a freed black slave who is falsely accused of robbery but, defended by Abraham Lincoln, is found not guilty due to the fact he has a damaged hand and could not have committed the crime. In To Kill a Mockingbird, Peters plays Tom Robinson, a black man falsely accused of raping a white girl, whom Atticus Finch shows could not have committed due to the fact his hand were damaged. In 1970 Peters portrayed the voice of African-American boxer Jack Johnson in Bill Caton's film of the same name, and it is in this role that he can be heard at the end of Miles Davis' soundtrack album, Jack Johnson, saying, "I'm Jack Johnson, heavyweight champion of the world. I'm black. They never let me forget it. I'm black all right. I'll never let them forget it." In radio, Peters was the voice of Darth Vader for the National Public Radio adaptation of the original Star Wars trilogy. He also played the role of a colonial prosecutor trying to make a murder case against Starbuck in an episode of the original Battlestar Galactica. He worked in the films Star Trek IV, The Voyage Home, and Star Trek VI, The Undiscovered Country as Fleet Admiral Cartwright of Starfleet Command. Peters portrayed Joseph Sisko, father of Deep Space Nine's commanding officer, Benjamin Sisko, on Star Trek, Deep Space Nine. In 1993, he was a member of the jury at the 43rd Berlin International Film Festival. In early 2005, Peters guest-starred in an episode of JAG during its final season, Bridging the Gulf, Season 10 Episode 15. Peters worked with Charlton Heston on several theatre productions in the 1940s and 1950s. The two became friends and subsequently worked together on several films, including Major Dundee, Soylent Green, and 2-Minute Warning. He voiced Soul Power in the animated series Static Shock. Personal life: Brock Peters read Gregory Peck's eulogy at Peck's funeral in 2003. Brock's character, Tom Robinson, was defended by Peck's Atticus Finch in 1962's To Kill a Mockingbird. Death: he died in Los Angeles, California, of pancreatic cancer on August 23, 2005, at the age of 78. Notable performances: Sergeant Brown in Carmen Jones, Crown in Porgy and Bess, Tom Robinson in To Kill a Mockingbird, Johnny in The L-Shaped Room, Matthew Robinson in Heavens Above. Runaway slave Pompey in Daniel Boone episode Pompey, Aesop in Major Dundee, Rodriguez in The Pawnbroker, Thomas in Ace High, Stephen Kamalo in Kurt Weill, and Maxwell Anderson's Lost in the Stars. Nominated for a Tony Award, the Reverend Canon Frederick Casubel, D.D. in an all-black film version of Oscar Wilde's The Importance of Being Earnest, Lieutenant Hatcher in the film Soylent Green, Darth Vader in the Star Wars radio series, the Ogre in the fairy tale theater episode Puss in Boots. Detective Frank Lewis in The Young and the Restless, Fleet Admiral Cartwright in Star Trek IV, The Voyage Home and Star Trek VI, The Undiscovered Country. Lucius Fox in Batman, the animated series, Joseph Sisko, Benjamin Sisko's father, in Star Trek, Deep Space Nine, Dark Cat in SWAT Cats, The Radical Squadron, Bloth in The Pirates of Dark Water, Tormak in Galter and the Golden Lance and Boneyard in Graverdale High. An uncredited voice acting performance as the boxer Jack Johnson on the Miles Davis album A Tribute to Jack Johnson. References. External links: Brock Peters at the Internet Movie Database, Brock Peters at the TCM Movie Database, Brock Peters at AllMovie, Brock Peters at Memory Alpha, Brock Peters at Find a Grave.